What's happening, guys? This is James Blon with MMOHuts.com with a quick weekly recap for MMO news and announcements of the weekend in February 17th, 2014. And the week of Valentine's Day is perfect for Valentine's events, not so much in terms of other news. But our first news for this week is about the arrival of Kali in Dragon Nest Europe. Kali is dressed to kill with a devastating and diverse range of melee and ranged attacks. Utilizing chakrams, fans, soul magic, and of course deadly dance moves, she stands as a threat at all times and can be tricky to catch long enough to combo her. Along with Kali in the latest update, big improvements have come to Dragon Nest Europe, such as tweaks to the UI, the new Dragon Jade for unlocking advanced skills, as well as combination skills to make combos juggle better than they've ever been able to before. And with that said, there's also a new release for the Western version of Dragon Nest. On Valentine's Day last week, Nexon America released a new update called Memoirs of a Beggar. This update is for players who've reached level 24 and above who look to adventure to find the Pirate King's hidden treasure. After joining the Pirate King on his own ship, players will roll the dice to randomly select a location from the game board. In each area, players will be assigned to a different mission according to the location, and after completed, chests will drop, gold if you win, wood if you fail. The golden chests drop at least one golden key that gets you access to treasure chests in the final dungeon of the adventure. In addition to the Pirate King's game, players can pick up new seasonal costumes, rare wings, and more exclusive items only available until the end of the month. It's not really that big of an update, but it's a cool add-on nonetheless. Next up, we've got some news for Black Gold Online. Last week, Snail Games revealed a new female-only Occultist class to join the steam-powered kingdom of the Eisenhorsts. These formidable sorceresses who practice dark magic are a powerful Mender-type class that specializes in continuous restoration, making them the ideal choice for healing and support roles. They're lightly armored and don't take damage too well, and besides their ability to heal the group, Occultists have mid-range defensive abilities that sap and stun their opponents. It's actually pretty cool. In addition to revealing the new class, Snail Games announced an alpha for Black Gold Online that's set to take place in late March, though we don't have an exact date just yet. They're calling the alpha the test drive, and it's strictly set up to serve as a way for the development team to hear feedback from the selected players that get invites to actively incorporate some of the player ideas into the game. And oddly enough, they got Avril Lavigne to promote the game as a so-called superfan.
Players and fans
It's kind of strange.
I'm Avril Lavigne. I'm Hasty. Besides music, games can be punk rock too. Crossover of magic and technology. Mixture of vintage and science fiction. Enjoy the freedom challenge, the extraordinary.
Also last week, Area Games released a new update for Aura Kingdom. This particular update introduces that new class that we were wondering about, as well as a new dungeon and plenty more. The new class is the Brawler, which brings the total number of playable classes to 9. Wielding dagger claws as their weapon of choice, Brawlers rip and shred through their enemies at melee range. The gameplay revolves around building secondary resources called Earth and Sky charges to increase the effectiveness of their strongest abilities. And of course, just like the other classes, Brawlers can synergize with certain secondary weapons to unlock entirely new combo skills. Aside from the new class, new zones and dungeons have opened up, along with the other world versions of previous dungeons, complete with new gear and retuned for max level players. It's a decent sized update, so follow the link in the description below for a lot more details. Looks like Hero of the Obelisk also got a hefty update last week. In fact, it's their biggest one to date. The new update is called Dungeon Masters, which is actually really fitting considering the update introduces a new area complete with 5 new level 50 dungeons and 3 new hardcore dungeons for levels 50, 20, and 10. The much anticipated update also brings a major revision to the current class's skills, so changes have been made to better balance each class's role, which means they took out some old skills and replaced them with new ones. New and old players will also notice that Trinzel received a facelift. The introduction of open field portals, main dungeon entrance, and class NPC relocation to the center of town makes traveling easier and quicker. Not to mention the game's tracking and leveling has been simplified for beginners. Quests now have directional arrows to assist new players throughout the storyline, and the experience required to level has been lowered. A lot has changed, so pick up more details from the official news post at MMOHuts.com/news. Just in time for Valentine's Day, Elsword introduces a marriage system. Yep, players can officially become a couple and ultimately marry in-game, complete with a wedding ceremony where invited friends can witness the event. When the time is right, players propose to each other using the complete wedding package, including invitations, hall reservations, and of course, wedding rings. Once married, players get to experience in-game effects, skills, and other goodies as a grouped couple. Now, I've got to be honest, I've never thought to see Elsword with a marriage system. But to each their own. Next up, besides launching the Xbox 360 edition of World of Tanks, Wargaming revealed a new national Confrontation Battlefront in the PC version of the game last week, available for machines of all tiers and balancing weights, with the exception of Japanese and Chinese tanks for the moment. The new experimental combat mode groups players with vehicles from a specific nation into a team that faces off against a comparable opposing squad with vehicles from a completely different nation. This new Confrontation mode is in early development but is currently available in Russia and Europe. There's a couple more details on our site post at MMOHuts.com, and if you're curious about the Xbox 360 edition, you're going to want to check out our launch interview with Wargaming CEO Victor Kisley. Next up, ever wonder what it would be like if you got to play League of Legends with just one more player on each team? Riot Games is putting together a new 6v6 trial mode called Hexakill. They're taking the same rules, same map as Summoner's Rift, and adding 2 more players to the match. And that's pretty much it. It seems like a fun and simple idea, and it starts February 20th but ends March 2nd, so you're going to want to check it out while you have the time. Well, today is the day that GunZ 2 The Second Duel was to make its way onto Steam via Steam Greenlight. It's set to be released on Early Access today, February 17th at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And for Early Access, the game features that will be available include auto-matching PvP modes, a co-op PvE mode, along with premium items. Coincidentally, GunZ The Duel is having its 10th anniversary as well, so timing played a big part in this. For now, the Steam Early Access release will serve North America and Southeast Asia, and will later service South America and Asia, but lucky European users already have their own servers live now. And for our last bit of news, Path of Exile is preparing the launch of its first mini-expansion called The Sacrifice of Val. This expansion expands the core game and sets the pace for the ongoing 4 monthly updates. So it looks like something they're going to be adding on over time. This is only a teaser for the update, so not a lot of information is given. However, Grinding Gear Games is already reaching out to the press to set up times to go over the vast new content added in, with a full reveal on the content February 28th and the launch of the expansion on March 5th. Now, I've heard a little bit about what's coming, and I can't yet reveal it to you guys, but trust me, you'll want to keep an eye out for our coverage over the next few weeks because this expansion is going to be epic. Anyway guys, that's about it for major MMO news and announcements for this week. If you're looking for more info on the topics covered in the recap, check the links in the description below, then head over to MMOHuts.com/news for even more MMO news. Feel free to discuss the news in the comments below or start up a thread at MMOHuts.com/forums. Until next time guys, that's going to be it for me. I'm James Blonde. See you out there, gamers.